I'm Sarah Jensen, editor of OEM Off-Highway, and welcome to Design and Engineering Insights. Today, I'll be speaking with Maxwell Alexander, Territory Sales Manager at B&R Industrial Automation, about some of the trends the company is seeing regarding automation in the heavy-duty equipment industry. Thank you for joining me today.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's awesome.
So maybe you could just start by talking about some of the current trends you guys are seeing regarding implementation of automation in heavy-duty equipment.
Yeah. I mean, the trends we see in heavy equipment, it comes from the same place that we see a lot of trends in the general automation industry as well. And it kind of traces back to the users of the equipment are changing as older users are retiring and newer users are coming on board. And with that, expectations on technology is increasing because everybody has smartphones that's connected and can do all these things. And now people are having similar expectations of their equipment as well. So it's everything from speed to connectivity to quality to how they interface with the equipment, and it's more and more expectations on the technology behind the equipment, along with obviously it still needs to be a higher degree of quality. It needs to be sustainable. They need to reduce their downtime. So it's kind of like the same expectations we've seen for years and years and years, plus additional at this point on our design teams. So it's pretty aggressive.
Mm-hmm. Are there any specific types of systems or pieces of equipment you're particularly seeing automation be applied, or OEMs are looking to implement it?
So the awesome thing about automation and the awesome thing about my job is it's kind of agnostic of a specific industry or a specific type of equipment. And that, it might have a little bit to do with the complexity of the equipment in terms of how much palette the user has for technology and the price point. But and as soon as we get into kind of that off-road heavy equipment space, automation's generally present there. And so it's really not any industry in particular, because everybody's kind of pulling from the same batch of users from a technology experience and expectation standpoint.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And so are there any challenges you guys are seeing associated with the development and integration of automation systems? And how are you guys maybe seeing, either you yourselves or seeing those within the industry working to overcome those challenges?
Yeah, I think the challenges kind of stem from some of the market trends that we were talking about. And it's really that you have these companies which are maybe particularly smaller, let's say OEMs, are used to differentiating on mechanical features of their machine. It was mechanical differentiation. They have strong mechanical design teams. And now the expectation of the user is, of course, yes, still mechanical, but now we have automation and technology expectations as well. So the companies have to pivot in their resources. They have to pivot in the types of people that they are employing, or the people that they have to start working on different things that they never had to work with before. And I think some of the key challenges is aligning the capabilities of the OEMs, particularly smaller ones, with the expectations of the market to make sure they stay competitive.
Okay. So maybe could you go into a little bit about how B&R specifically is helping OEMs achieve their automation goals, or kind of what you guys are maybe doing in the automation space and how you might work with an OEM? Yeah,
I think that this is the reason why B&R decided to kind of come in this space. I mean, traditionally we were more on the industrial side. It's because, we have a mature automation platform that's really more than just hardware and software. It's a whole ecosystem that is focused on obviously high quality hardware and high availability and high speeds and all this, but also it's focused on the design team to reduce the time to market and reduce the amount of energy you spend on features. And for B&R, what that means is it's code that is independent of the hardware. And it's integration with third-party tools that people are using for modeling and simulation, and like MATLAB or industrial physics, and taking very, very complex features and making them palatable in function blocks that we call modular application, or MAP. And these are things that the infrastructure for them has existed for a long time inside B&R, and now we're offering it to that off-road space that maybe hasn't had a vendor who's been able to offer a comprehensive solution like that. Because as people know, in the Internet of Things and as features become more complicated, we want out of the box functionality that we don't have to design from scratch. And yes, it reduces the amount of resources and the amount of energy and time to market when you have an innovation. But the other thing that does is as you evolve your equipment and as your equipment gets more features or more needs, or as you expand your portfolio into higher end and lower end, components, you don't want to have to redesign everything every time as you switch from one platform to the next or from one language to the other. And what B&R offers is a real scalability, modularity of the development ecosystem on a variety of hardware so that an OEM and even a smaller OEM can deploy very high-end technology quickly and hopefully easily, to the market compared to what else is out there.
Mm-hmm. Okay, great. So how do you guys sort of foresee automation continuing to progress in the coming years? Or are there any technologies or specific types of trends that you see regarding this trend going forward?
Yeah, I mean, as far as our team can see, when we plan our own resources and our own developments that we'll offer to the market, it's really the expectation on technology. We don't see wavering anytime soon. I mean, some specifics. We do see that, with increased technology, a lot of times CAN networks on equipment are getting bogged down in terms of the bandwidth and the capability. So we maybe see a migration to an Ethernet-based, backplane for a lot of this communication within these systems. And we like, OPC UA, we see as being a leading kind of competitor from a protocol standpoint there. Another kind of specific that we've seen is along the lines of the out-of-box functionality is users who want web-based UI, user interface technologies, being something that is more and more common, where they want to take something that's been developed maybe in a different space and deploy it for user interfaces without a bunch of overhead. So that's another, trend that we see emerging in the space.
Mm-hmm. Okay, great. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me today and provide your insights on the topic.
Yeah, for sure. It's been awesome.